Hi there. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? It's sure great to see everybody for our 37th meeting of the year. If you'll rise, past President KARL von BIEBERSTEIN will lead the invocation pledge and national anthem.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Does anyone have any concerns of any of our members that you'd like to share? I'll start with keeping Elaine Allen in your thoughts. She's having some mobility issues, and as all of us get older, some of us more than others know what that's like. But keep Elaine in your thoughts and prayers. Are there anybody? Is anyone else know of anyone we need to lift up? Well, if not, for the past 50 years, Earth Day has been celebrated by billions of people around the globe. Annually, every April 22nd, we gather and to promote awareness of the health of our environment. In that spirit, would you please bow with me as we go to the Lord with this Earth Day prayer. Compassionate and loving God, you created the world for all of us to share, a world of beauty and plenty. Create in us a desire to live simply so that our lives may reflect your generosity. Creator God, you gave us responsibility for the earth, a world of riches and delight. Create in us a desire to live sustainably so that those who follow after us may enjoy the fruits of your creation. O God of peace and justice, you gave us the capacity to change, to bring about a world that mirrors your wisdom. Create in us a desire to act in solidarity so that the pillars of injustice crumble and those now crushed are set free. Oh God, we recognize that the future of our planet is in our hands. Give us all strength and wisdom to live simply, live sustainably, and act in solidarity to preserve our world for our children and all of our future generations. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. And if you'll remain standing, place your hand over your heart, face the flag, say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mark? Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? Thank you all.
All right. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, our awards banners are gone. So we have our district award ceremony tomorrow night, so we're looking forward to bringing back some more banners next Friday. So that'll be fun. We have a number of guests today. We're so thrilled that each of y'all are here. If you brought a guest, if you and your guest will stand so we can make sure that y'all are introduced properly. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. This is my sister, Jessica. She's in town visiting from New Jersey. She's a real estate professional. So thank you guys for having her.
Welcome, Jessica.
Two guests. Oh, sorry, go ahead. All right. Two guests today, past President Rosemary DeMakey and her son, Alexander.
Welcome, Rosemary and Alexander.
Hi, you'll learn more about our honorees later, but I have with me Mr. Gus Walton and Miss Linda with Highland Park, and Miss Linda with Highland Park and Mr. Gus Walton with University Park. We'll recognize them shortly. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome, Gus and Linda. Does that mean you don't go by Augustus? Vote. Great. Any other guests? Well, we're so thrilled that y'all are here. It's now time for Happy Bucks. If you have something that you're really happy about, if you'll stand and share what other dollar denomination you prefer. We look forward to hearing your happy news.
Let's just start at the second. My son's the big basketball fan, but I thought the Mavericks were the tank.
I'm really happy about our guest today. Happy about our guest and the awards banquet tomorrow night. Miss Mary has some happy news. That sounds amazing. Awesome. Thank you, Scott. And now, Ms. Tiffany Richmond is going to come up and introduce our honorees for this month. And then we'll follow up with a picture.
Good afternoon, everyone. So first, we're going to recognize Mr. Gus Walton, who is an emergency communication manager for the town of University Park. Gus Walton began his career with the city of University Park while he was in high school as a seasonal employee for the Parks Department from 1982 through August of 1989. He obtained a bachelor's degree in business administration management from Wiley College. Gus worked for Baylor Hospital in Dallas from December 1989 through February 1991. After graduation from college, then he returned back to University Park in a full-time position as a utility billing clerk. In 1997, he began his duties as a communications specialist in the 911 Communications Center, and in 2019 was promoted to the manager position. Some of his duties include managing the 911 Communications Center, responsibility for TCIC audits and CJIS audits, facilitates the training program for newly hired communications specialists, processes bond monies, represents the city of University Park at home rule managers meetings and 911 DFW managers meetings. Gus Walton is married and has 3 children. He's a terrific baker and loves spending time off with his family and is very active in his church. Thank you so much for your service. Next up, we have Miss Nancy Reuter, not to be confused with Linda. Please accept my apologies for that mistake, who is a librarian assistant for the town of Highland Park. Miss Nancy has been a part of Highland Park Library team since 1996 when she became a children's assistant. She joined the library full-time as a category assistant in 2016. Nancy began her library career at the age of 8 when her grandma let her stamp the cards and put them in the book pockets in a small Carnegie library. Now, a grandma herself, she enjoys watching a new generation develop a love of books and reading. Nancy holds training certificates in fundamentals of metadata and fundamentals of cataloging from the Association of Library Collections and Technical Services, which is a branch of the American Library Association. Throughout her career in libraries, Nancy has worked in academic and public libraries. Nancy crafts the physical and bibliographic descriptions about library materials that becomes the items records in the library's online catalog. These records include the keywords and subjects that allow patrons to search and discover materials to meet their needs. They let patrons locate a specific item, but also describe the breadth and depth of the collection. While most of her work is behind the scenes, Nancy enjoys visiting with long-term library patrons and suggesting new books for them. She enjoys telling visitors about the art displayed in the library. Nancy has experienced many changes in the field of librarianship and looks forward to seeing the future of libraries. On vacation, she can be spotted popping in to check out libraries and get new ideas for improving the patron experience. Thank you again for your service. We appreciate you.
So, and I look forward to visiting with Gus later about what he likes to bake, and Miss Linda about what metadata is. Thank y'all so much. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Our Legacy of Leadership class has a fabulous project, and Eric Harrison is going to tell us all about it.
Thank you, President Happy. Good afternoon. I am here representing the cohort for the Legacy of Leadership class 2021-22. If I could I get my cohorts that are here? Please stand real quick and be recognized by your club. Whether you've been in Rotary for one day or one decade, if you haven't gone through the Legacy of Leadership program, I can't encourage you strongly enough to hit up Paul Pyrock over here and make sure you get signed up next time. I've studied leadership and management my entire career, and I had a great year this year being part of the program. I am here to kick off our capstone project, which we will begin promoting today. If you look on your table, there is a very beautiful centerpiece there that has all the information about our clothing drive that we are doing in association with Attitudes and Attire. We'll be working on that for the entire month of May and taking collections here each and every week. We will also be putting together a list of subject matter experts that might be interested in working with Attitudes and Attire and helping the women that are associated with that program to teach them life skills, business skills, interview skills, things of that nature. So stay tuned. You'll be hearing much more about this. It'll be in the hub each week, and hopefully Happy will give us a minute or two at each meeting to keep reminding you of not only the clothing drive, but the subject matter experts. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce you to the founder and executive director of Attitudes and Attire. I didn't introduce her a minute ago, but she is our guest today, Lynn Berman, and I'm going to shut up and let her come tell you all about Attitudes and Attire, and we are thrilled to be working with her and with them as part of our capstone project. Lynn?
Well, hello to everyone. Thank you for having us. I wanted to give you a little history on attitudes and attire. We have been in operation, we're in our 26th year, and we've served over 26,000 women in that time. My whole thing about starting Attitudes and Attire was to change the world for women. And we have 4 different programs. We have our core program, which is about self-esteem, work ethic, and we just started with self-compassion, which is really something the women connect with. We have our dental program, and a lot of you have come to work with our clients. It's called Hopeful Smiles. It's a unique partnership with local dental professionals to provide restorative dental care to women whose smiles have been damaged by poverty, addiction, neglect, violence, and illness. Our next is Boots to Heels. And we started this about 10 years ago, actually. We're celebrating our 10th year with this. We serve women in the military community, including spouses. We assist them with the transition from military to civilian life. Our latest program is our Spanish-speaking program. We have 2 women on our team who are bilingual. They took the book that we give to clients and translated it into Spanish. And it has just been amazing. I'm just very, very proud of really the accomplishments. And it's really my team. I'm just overseeing things, but they really work hard. We have a long history with Rotary. And I have to thank Karen Farris for that. Karen is on our board of directors and has been, I don't know how many years, Karen, but I'm so happy. And Karen really brought us into becoming a beneficiary in 2002, so it's been a long time. Our connection has been a beneficiary of funds for our Hopeful Smiles dental program, for client sponsorships, and also for our Boots to Heels female veterans program, all of which we are extremely grateful for. And so this year I got a call from Doug Gill, better known to me as Wayne Gill. He grew up with my son, and we met for coffee. I probably haven't seen Doug in, I don't know, 25 years, but as soon as he walked in, I recognized him. And he was talking to me about your legacy of leadership, training future leaders, and the Capstone Service Project. And I was just thrilled to hear everything about what you all are doing. And so thrilled when he called to say that we were chosen as your beneficiary of the Capstone Project. Coming from the nonprofit world, it's a privilege to be honored by this, because to know that Rotary, that Park City's Rotary, knows the importance of community with a wonderful philanthropic project. We're extremely honored, and I just can't thank you all enough. Thank you.
And now, past President Paul Pyrock is going to highlight our PCR Marketplace advertiser, Sean Foster.
Thank you, President Happy. Well, today's going to be a little bit different. Sean wanted to do something different. Anyway, our advertiser today is the Foster Financial Group, Sean Foster, one of our members. They offer comprehensive wealth management, helping you achieve financial security while leaving a lasting impact. But Sean doesn't want to talk about his company today. He wanted me to share with you that he cannot imagine a better club than the Rotary Club of Park Cities. The way that we demonstrate service above self is truly impressive. From packing food at the North Texas Food Bank, to raising the money to buy the first mobile food pantry, to equipping a medical clinic at Bonton Farms, to staffing the Ronald McDonald House dinners, to packing food at Bonton Farms, to partnering with the Salvation Army, coordinating the parade, Christmas tree lighting. He is humbled to be part of this club that does so much for the community. He appreciates that the programs on Friday, like today, are second to none, from the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks to the Chief of the Dallas Police Department to the Parkinson's Voice Project, and many, many more. The social calendar is amazing, including not only happy hours, but now dance lessons. I could probably use that, but anyway. Sean would love to visit with you about the Foster Financial Group someday. And by the way, I've used his services. He's very good. But today, he especially wanted to thank you for fostering lives of service above self. So, not sure if he meant that pun, but it's in there. So anyway, thank you.
I see John Brown, so when we were listing concerns, we should probably also keep your wife in our prayers.
Yes, if you would please. She'll be in the hospital through the middle of May doing continuing rehab, and progress is being made. So thank you for your concern, cards, and everything else. It's been very rewarding.
Wow, we'll keep her in our prayers. And now our Rotary Foundation Chair, Greg Pape, has a special presentation.
Thank you, President Happy. I'd like to ask Sarah Ollier to come to the podium, Rosemary DeMakey, Van Oliver, and Ruth Alalali. I know Ruth's here. Great. Got a big team today. Straight from Evanston, Illinois, Rotary Foundation announced that it's raised more than $7 million to support locally led relief efforts underway by Rotary clubs in Ukraine. Funds raised by the Rotary Foundation, Rotary's charity arm, go directly to those in need through local Rotary clubs in Ukraine. We have till April the 30th to contribute towards that effort. There's been 2 Rotarians so far, Ruth Alalali and Doug Beans, that have contributed to the Disaster Relief Fund. If you need assistance in doing that, I'm here to help. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Ruth. Just to update our background in Rotary, which encompasses the Rotary Foundation. How many avenue of services do we have in Rotary? For many, many years, we had 4. Carl, how many? You got it, man. We got club service, vocational, community, international, and the latest, New Generations. New Generations recognizes the positive change implemented by youth and young adults through leadership development activities. For many years, we've talked about 6 areas of focus. I won't necessarily go through that whole list, but we've added a 7th, and that is support the environment. I knew Rick and Lisa had that on their tongue there. That's great. So Rotary's constantly adapting, making changes, and making things happen. And today we have some recognition items from the Rotary Foundation to give out. First is Van Oliver. Van has more or less been with us for a short term. Come on up, Van. Are you okay? All right. Anyways, God bless. Here's your Rotary Foundation pin, Paul Harris pin, and a certificate appreciating your major contribution to the Rotary Foundation. You may want to stay. Sarah Ollier, who joined us in 2016, has contributed her 4th level, and certainly we know she's a major contributor, pouring all her energy and effort towards the July 4th effort this year. I know she helped out last year as well. 4th level contributor to the foundation, Sarah Ollier. And Ruth has been a member since 2002. She now has a beautiful ruby on here, and indicating that she is a 7th level contributor to the foundation. Ruth Alali. Last but not least, the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International is recognizing Rosemary Domenke, who has demonstrated exemplary contribution level in a single year, this year, 2021-22, by recognizing multiple Rotarians of the Rotary Club of Park Cities with a Paul Harris Fellow. Your generous contribution, Rosemary, to the Rotary Foundation fulfill the promises we've all made to improve our communities and communities around the world. As a major donor and a Paul Harris Society member, we applaud your outstanding and dedicated support of the Rotary Foundation. Signed by President Happy Franklin. Thank you all. Thank you.
Would all of you come in front of the banner?
Yes.
Can I just say who it is I've recognized?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Hi, I would just like to take a moment, if I could please, and let you know who it is that I chose to recognize in our club. There are 3 people who are often in the background, but without whom our wheels would not be greased the way they are. And first of all, Lori, could you please stand up? For all that you do, thank you so much, Lori. Greg Pape, the one who recognizes everyone but is very rarely recognized himself. And lastly, he's not here, but Chris Clausen. Chris Clausen has been there for so many of us in our hour of need in our families, and he has done so much for so many and just gives of himself selflessly. So Chris Clausen also.
Congratulations. Thank you for your generosity. And now Sarah has a quick announcement to make.
About a month ago, a couple of us were trading emails with Diana Cow at the North Texas Food Bank and talking about how much our club has raised on behalf of the North Texas Food Bank just from our parade efforts alone, not other funds that we've given over the years, but our parade effort alone. And what I discovered is that as of 2021, we have provided over 734,000 meals to North Texans due to our parade fundraising efforts. So I thought, can we get to 1 million meals this year? Yes. Can we get to 1 million meals this year? Yes. Okay. So, but you're like, that's kind of a jump, Sarah. But let me tell you how it works. We've already have a $7,500 gift from our own foundation and a $7,500 sponsorship from Frost Bank, both of which have hit a triple match already. So triple match times every $1's 3 meals. So we are already, to date, at 135,000 meals. So that's our red line to date. We know that Encore has pledged an additional $7,500, and they are going to send their check in during a double match. May has a double match from the David Crowley Foundation, and our board has generously agreed that Happy Bucks from the month of May will go to our parade fundraising effort. So that will be a double match. So what does that equal to? So in May, we will be collecting, hopefully, checks made out to the North Texas Food Bank when you make your Happy Bucks donation. And so, just to give you a little math, a $50 double match times 3 meals equals 300 meals. All right? A $100 plus a double match times 3 meals is 600 meals. A $1,000 double match times 3 meals is 6,000 meals. So I'm going to ask again, do you think we can get to 1 million meals this year? Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. She's doing a great job as our parade chair. And now, if past President Barb Jeffries will come forward, and if President-elect Jeff McNaughton, if you'll be in the wings, you'll be up shortly. Thank you. One of the perks of being a club president is afterwards you get a beautifully bound book with the hub and our board minutes and agendas. And so, isn't this a beautiful book? Yes. So this is being presented to past President Barb Jeffries. Congratulations.
Look what you all did in a year that was a pandemic. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Congratulations. And President-elect Jeff McNaughton has an announcement for us.
Thanks, President Happy. Real quick, the board met this week, and as you may or may not remember, dues are coming out. The billing starts May 1st. They will be due May 31st. They're late after that. If you recall, a couple years ago, we had to make an adjustment of the timing so that we had all of our members paid for and accounted for by the end of the year so that we wouldn't be charged by RI, Rotary International, on July 1st for people who are no longer going to re-up. So, that being said, everybody knows that the price of everything has gone up. And as a result, our operations have also increased, and so we're going to need to make an increase for this year. We're going to go from $380 to $420, which is about $40 a year. My simple math says that's 70 cents a week. So hopefully that's not a problem for everybody at 70 cents a week. Just this week, I went to Starbucks for the first time in quite a while. Went to the drive-thru. I was shocked when my medium coffee, that's a drip, no frou-frou, was $3.10. I think the last time I went, it was like $2.50. So again, dues will be going out next week from Philip. PCR Marketplace is also going up to $4.25. Thank you.
Thank you. That'll really help us get a lot more done. And with inflation, things just cost more. And now, our membership chair, Valerie Pellin, is going to tell us about our membership dinner coming up on Tuesday night.
So what are you doing at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night? Will I see you at the Park Cities Club having a drink? So cocktails are from 6 to 7, and then dinner starts at 7. So all new members, I expect you there with your sponsors, and I expect the membership there to support the new members. We expect a big turnout. This is a totally social event. That's why we're starting with the cocktail hour. So how many of you have already registered? Do I see? Okay, that doesn't look too good. I expect to see more at the bar at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Valerie. And Ms. Jill Jordan is going to tell us about her team on the board. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. I represent the community outreach teams, and I'd like to take the opportunity just to remind you of these various teams and the people who lead them. You've seen Sarah Ollier, so she is the chairperson, the grand poobah of arranging the parade, and you will be seeing a lot more of her. She's got a big team of people doing a very big job, and we're very appreciative of the work she does. Tanya Bolton heads up our tree lighting event. So for those of you who do not know, in the Snyder Plaza area every November, We have a big tree lighting, there's a big festival all day long, and we are coordinating that event. Ian Mudge, he does the angel tree at North Park, and we go and volunteer and, you know, hand out the little angels and take in the presents back. Stan Wright, he handles our food packing days with the North Texas Food Bank. Just in early April, on the 2nd, 26 volunteers worked for 80 hours that day packing meals. We also have an event called the Scottish Rite Popcorn Packing Event. Mark McGuffin is the head of that, but unfortunately, we've not been able to do that for the last 2 years due to COVID. So hopefully, this third year coming, we'll be able to get back and do that. Then we have a project called the Child's Play at Bachman Lake. It is a playground for kids of all abilities there at the City of Dallas Park. Our club built that as a centennial project many years ago, and we continue to help with the maintenance there at the park. It's on an as-needed basis, and last year it was hit with graffiti and some damage, and so some of our members did a lot of work out there. So Doug Means, KARL Van Bieberstein, and Philip Bankhead worked on that. Philip is the co-chair of the current team there for Bachman Lake. And then this year we had a special new event. It was a one-day flower planting project at Rivershawn Park. Happy Franklin was our chairperson for that. So all total, year to date, starting from last July, we have done over 1,013 volunteer hours. So congratulations and thanks to all of you.
Let us know if you want to join any of those teams. And now Bob Patton, one of the longest members of our club, is going to tell us his Rotary why. Looking forward to that.
I want to thank KARL for recognizing Earth Day. It brings back memories. We had an environmental committee here I was part of 30 years ago or so. That's really up. So I want to just give you a quick snapshot of how I got to Rotary. First, how I got to Dallas. I'm a civil engineer, and I came here with my wife with a one-year-old child to be part of the design team to build the Dallas North Tollway. So we brought that to Dallas. So our next assignment was in Virginia, and we had. By the time the project was complete, we had 2 children, planned on 3, and that's to make Dallas our home. So I changed employers and joined a firm called Southwestern Laboratories. And there I started working on building the DFW airport. When that was getting near the end, one of the vice presidents of the company said, "You need to be involved more in this community." And he was a longtime member of this club, and so he sponsored me. Before that, one of our members of the firm was one of the founding members of the club. And I don't see Bob Grossman here today, but Mr. May also sponsored Bob about that era in 1974. So, and anyway, that was so I think that sponsoring is the way. I try to do that too and sponsor some members too. And I want to recognize you just heard Jill Jordan sponsored her. She's my friend and fellow civil engineer, and she's doing a wonderful job for the club. And then you might recall Kat Massey from a few years ago. And she was, as far as I can tell, the only member, a very active member. She came about 5 or 6 years ago or so, but she also gave birth to a little baby she brought to Rotary Club, which was unique. But she's it's instilled in Rotaries in her heart. And Jeff might have seen her out at the Lone Star. Her mother, I saw her mother a few weeks ago, and she said she's now president-elect of our Amarillo Rotary Club. So it's in her blood to be Rotary. So. And it's in our families enjoyed Rotary, and all of our families participated, even grandchildren, in some events of the club. Rotary is a wonderful organization. Many, many programs that we've heard many mentioned today, but 2 of them come close to me. And that was our speaker a few weeks ago talked about our Polio Plus has been around since 1979. Well, I had polio in 1944 as a child, completely paralyzed, and But after 6 weeks in the Houston hospital, I was nursed back to where I could walk again and learned and led a good life. I'm a very, very fortunate person to go through that experience. Rotary has done wonderful work in that field. And the other program is what we really sponsor programs for justice and peace throughout the world. And also, I was born the day after World War II started, and the headlines of the paper would be quite similar to the headlines on February the 25th this year, where it said, Germany led by Hitler invades Poland. You could just change that out and see the same thing happening again 83 years later. But because of organizations like our country that took the lead and started the European Union, the NATO, the United Nations, and Rotary fits right in with that to reach out and give peace to the world and do everything that we can. And as each of us are doing our part that we can, it's a great organization. Thank you. That's my brief snapshot and my minute for Rotary. Thank you much.
Thank you for your service, Bob. For reference, Bob has been in our club since 1974. I was born in 1975. Wow. It's a long time. Thank you, Bob. So just really quickly, we're having the awards banquet tomorrow night. We're going to have a great turnout. Looking forward to that. Sign up for the free dance lesson Thursday night. We're going to go to Cowboys Red River. It's going to be really fun. Sign up to do the Give Blood at the YMCA on May 16th. And just quickly, the next two meetings we're going to be somewhere else. So make a note in your calendar. Next week we're going to be at the Salvation Army. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But the week after that, we're going to be out at Bonton Farms. Registration for that will start today. So it's going to be fantastic. We look forward to seeing y'all there. Without any further ado, I look forward to introducing Christine Volkmar. She is the best kind of speaker. She brings gifts. All right. She's fantastic. She's the Director of Community Engagement, and she's going to tell us about a fabulous service project that we're going to have next month. Please sign up for that. I'll send out an email about that as well. But without any further ado, let's welcome Christine.
Hello. God, you guys are amazing. Do you realize that? Can you just pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, this is an amazing group to be part of? You do fabulous work, and I really appreciate it. Equest has been the beneficiary of the foundation in the past, which we're hugely grateful for. So I haven't spoken to your group in about 5 years, and I bet there's some folks that know Equest, and there's several of you who maybe do not. So we're going to show you something that will help you understand it. Basically, you know, our mission is to help children, adults, and veterans who are facing a life with disabilities. And we do that through the human-horse connection. So you might be going, what? The human-horse connection? There is an amazing healing modality that happens with horses. So we're going to show you a short little video that will give you an idea of what it looks like and where I work on a day-to-day basis. All right?
That take place at Equest would be possible without the generous financial support of our donors. I thank each one of you from the bottom of my heart for keeping the Equest dream alive and growing. Here we are, 35 years later. We've expanded to the beautiful Texas Horse Park. We are serving over 225 clients each and every week, and we are continuing to change lives on a daily basis.
It has already in 1 year helped Darren more than any other therapy he's done.
So look up at me and Peterbilt will go. There you go. Very nice. Okay, walk on, Miss Shirley. All right, Darren.
When he's on that horse, he's constantly smiling, especially when he walks by us, he's smiling. So it's pretty happy feeling when I see him on the horse.
Zoe moves a lot, and she's calmed down a lot, but at the beginning, she just loved voluntary movement. So when we first came out here, it was a question whether she'd be able to get up on the horse and be still. The minute we came out here, Zoe got up on that horse and was completely still. And I suppose she'll talk about it, but to think back to that day.
But to think back to that day of her getting up on that horse and responding immediately.
One of our fastest growing programs at Equest is our veteran program. Because of the service they have provided to all of us, we offer all our programming to our veterans at no charge.
There are a host of challenges that veterans face when they leave active duty, and these can contribute to the heartbreaking reality that 20 veterans take their lives every day. At Equest, we're creating a safe environment for them to connect with one another, with a community of supporters, and overcome these challenges. And in so doing, we are quite literally saving lives.
Well, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and I was in the military, and I'm Service Connection Force. So I'm here through the Veterans Program, and I had reached the point where I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. I had Parkinson's, and I would freeze up, and sometimes I couldn't get out of bed, and I couldn't leave my house. And I came here, and I began to move, and I began to feel like I was a person again. It's more than fun, it's a lifeline.
So there you go. I told you the video would tell you the story far better than I can. So our goal, our mission is to improve the quality of life. And this video has some archival nature to it. It was made a few years back. We are now 41 years old, and we are exclusively down at the Texas Horse Park. How many of you know where the horse park is? All righty, so here's where it is. If you go down Central, past downtown, where it turns into 45, there's a highway called 175 East going toward Kaufman. You're going to go there when you go to Bonton, right? They're the first exit off. We're like the third exit off. They're literally our next door neighbor. And in honor of Earth Day, I will say that we deliver a big truckload of manure to them every week. And they use it for their compost, which will make your salad that you're going to eat next week. And we eat there frequently. So it's a great partnership that we have with them. So you noticed in the video, we are serving people from 2 years old, as little as that, all the way up to senior citizens like Mary Beth, who has Parkinson's. So we promote this healing through equine-assisted activities and therapies. Which way do I point this? There we go. We are down at the horse park. Hope you'll come down and visit on May 15th. We have something special for you happening. So lots of diagnoses, and so I'll encapsulate that into, we have physical, intellectual, and emotional challenges. You may know that there are a number of children born on the autism spectrum. That number has risen like crazy over the last several years. That is the largest group that we serve, all the way into the genetic things that transition into different syndromes. Certainly we have Down syndrome, but we also have cerebral palsy and all of its related functions. 2 weeks ago, we were in the process of making a new video, and I interviewed all day Tuesday 10 different parents or caregivers coming in with their children, and every one of them had a different story. From, I woke up at 24 weeks pregnant, my water broke, and 2 hours later I was holding 1.5-pound twins that were in NICU for 6 months. Totally unexpected, and here she is. These 4-year-olds are riding together, and she's going to live with that for the rest of her life. And so our goal is to make the quality of life better for the entire family, and certainly the power of that horse to change lives is really amazing, and I'll tell you how. And if I can figure out how to make this click correctly, this way. All right, this way. This way. Can you advance the slide? Yeah, just go ahead and advance. So we know that there are about 800,000 people in the DFW area who are living with a disability, and so 1 in 26 households has someone in their household who has a disability. It may be visible, it may be invisible. And we also know that part of our mission with our veterans program is because 20 veterans are taking their lives every day in this country, and a lot of that is mental health related. So I'll tell you in a minute about how that came about. We also know that with children who have a disability, they're cute and darling often when they're little and they're included, and then about 4th grade they stop being invited to the birthday party because the other parents are uncomfortable, and they stop being invited and included to be a Girl Scout because the other parents and kids are now uncomfortable in 5th and 6th grade. And so at Equest, we have clients who started riding with us when they were 5 and 6, and they're now 30 and 36, and they tend to stay with us. It tends to become their family of choice, where they feel accepted and included, and where their abilities are focused on instead of their disabilities. Okay, next. We know that people who are sedentary have a tendency to obesity, and if you can't help it because you're in a wheelchair all day, that goes up exponentially as you get older, and then that causes other sorts of physical problems. So keep moving. Whatever you do, keep moving, right? Go on. And so let's talk a little bit about why it works. Next slide. So when you all walked in here and you were able to walk through that line and carry your plate and sit down and lift the fork to your mouth, that happened in that ambulatory pattern. Why? Because your hip carriage, right, moves forward and back, tilts side to side, and has a rotational component, right? You can sit in your chair and you can do that, you can feel it. And so that's what enables us to walk. The horse's gait is exactly like ours. It's designed the same way. So if you're in a wheelchair all day and I pick you up and we sit you on the back of a horse and move the horse is like this dynamic moving platform that is moving exactly like your hip carriage is meant to move, which is why it begins to stimulate all of those neurons up the spine into the brain. If you have a Down syndrome child, they tend to not walk until 2.5 to 3. We can take a 2-year-old and in 6 lessons they will be walking. Why? Because that stimulation to the brain knows how to do it. It's like, oh, now I can connect the dots, and then they're walking. It's just amazing how just sitting on the back of that horse, it looks like they're doing nothing. It's the equivalent of like 70 mini sit-ups every minute. That's what it takes to balance yourself and stay on the back of the horse. So that component in and of itself is one of the biggest factors of why it works. Next slide. We also look at our horses as therapeutic partners. We changed our mission statement from saying we use horses to facilitate this to we partner with horses, because it truly is a partnership. Horses are really unique beings in that, first of all, they're prey animals, and so they are alert, they're protective, and they're constantly communicating. There's a ton of nonverbal communication going on, and they're picking up your cues all the time. Their sonar goes out 365 degrees for over a mile. So you can imagine how sensitive they are, and their ability to pick up on what's happening energetically with a client with the client, therapist, caregiver. So in that regard, they make amazing partners for us in this work. They are also a great social lubricant. We've had clients on the autism spectrum, and if you know someone who has a child or someone in their family, there's a tendency to not make eye contact, right? So they'll kind of shimmy up to you this way. And we've watched clients with a horse, and it is the first eye contact that they have made with a sentient being, and it's a horse that will do it. We've also had clients who have laughed for the first time because the horse sneezed while they were sitting on the back of the horse. And the mother about fell out of the bleachers saying, "Oh my God, I've never heard this child laugh." And so it's that kind of thing that's both sensory, it's emotional, and it's very connective. Like the dad in the video said, when he's on the back of that horse, he's always smiling. So there is that. Next slide. So what we're after here in this relationship, besides all of the physical components, is it helps our clients build trust, confidence, paying attention. You cannot manage a 1,200-pound animal if you're not paying attention. And certainly if you're volunteering, you want to pay attention and watch your feet, right? Because they're heavy. They step on your foot, it hurts. So you got to pay attention and be present. What happens when we're fully present? Like in that moment of silence, right? You can feel it. You drop into a different energetic presence. And great things can happen. Your mind clears. You are able to think and give a command coherently. Your heart rate goes down. You begin to regulate. This is why it also works so well with veterans who have anxiety and PTS. Next slide. So I'll give you a quick down and dirty. Here's our programs. We have 7 life-changing programs. The first of which, of course, is therapeutic horsemanship. That's what we started with. And what we realized is while it's therapy, our instructors are trained to teach anyone, and I mean anyone, how to manage a horse. So we're actually teaching and increasing your equestrian skill set. And so for many of our clients, that is a big deal. Next one. We provide therapies with licensed therapists. So we have OTPT therapists on staff. They're out there all day, Tuesday and Wednesday, if you ever want to come out and see miracles happen. It's incredible. And so they are actually using the horse. Again, we're taking a client out of a clinical setting. We're bringing them out into a gorgeous place. I'm excited for you to come and see the horse park. It's so peaceful and beautiful, and everybody says, God, I had no idea this was here. And then they're partnering with the horse, as I said, to achieve their PT and OT goals. We also do equine facilitated counseling. So, you know, I've been to therapy. How many? Some of us have been to therapy. And, you know, you go to the office, you sit down, there's your therapist, there's the empty chair while, you know, you talk to your mother-in-law or whatever who's not really there, but it's all in your head. All right, and it kind of works. Sort of, but if I were to go out into a pasture setting with my therapist and a couple of horses and my counselor and the horse instructor, and I start talking about what's up for me, and I'm watching this horse move in, and I'm talking about, and the therapist is saying, well, so where's the anxiety in your body? And I'm like, it's like right here in my gut, my jaws are clenched, and here comes this horse, just walks up and lays its head right on my heart. Right? The tears come, and then you talk through it, and you're done. And that's a counseling session at Equest. It's pretty amazing. And so that partnership has really opened things up, and it grew out of our veterans program, because veterans don't do well in clinical static settings, right? Think about their work out in the field. And so when they come to us, they're in a completely different environment where those barriers begin to come down. And so that's another of our therapeutic programs. Leading into Hooves for Heroes, so that started back around, I think, 2012, 2013. It's cool. We've worked with Lynn, and some of the ladies from Boots to Heels have come out and ridden. We've worked with the Adaptive Training Foundation. We partner with a number of different veteran organizations, Carry the Load, which comes up, and all of that. So again, you know, what we do is sort of a backdoor approach, and the VA National knows now, and they are funding programs that provide alternative recreational therapies for veterans because it's working. And so the veterans who have come through our program are really blessed and changed. And all veterans and their dependents get any of our programs at no charge. So that's a really big deal. We've had veteran families come in, and it wasn't the veteran who was seeking services, but the kiddo's autistic or has a genetic disorder. And when they find out that that child can get those services at Equest at no charge, like the tears come down, because they're juggling, and it's often quite challenging. So we really want to provide hope for our heroes to reduce the stress and the PTS in their world. And we're seeing that reduction when they come out. So that is a really good thing. Next slide. And those are some of our community partners, which is great. All right, so then another fourth program is equine assisted learning. And so this is where we address vocational and life skill items, and we partner with the horse to do that. We also partner with DISD to take kids who are about to age out of the high school program, and we can teach them vocational skill sets. If you can teach them to match the horse's bucket with that hook, with that brush, and get it all organized, and these are some, some students who have pretty significant disability, they can be employed. And so we've been able to uplift that as well. We also work with the Dallas Police. They come out on Wednesdays, 5:30, if you ever want to come out and see that. The Dallas Police developed the PALS program, the Police Activities League, and it started kind of with boxing and basketball, but now they've included equestrian skills, and they come out and we partner with them in our facility with our horses, and the kids learn all kinds of great skill sets, the goal of which is to create better relations between the police and the neighborhood kids. We are down near Bonton Farms. We're in a largely underserved area. When we moved from Wiley, it was purposeful because we wanted to reach a more underserved community. And so that's important to us, that community engagement. We have plenty of clients who are coming in from this area and East Dallas and North Dallas, and we really want South Dallas to be included in that, in those programs. So that's what opened up, next slide, this thing that we just launched last year called Reading Quest with Equest. It's our literacy program. This year we have the Momentous Institute. I know if you're Salesmanship Club, you know that school, St. Philip's, and the King's Academy. And it's an incentivizer. So we take our miniature horses to the school. We just did this yesterday at Momentous. The first graders come out, and many of them have never seen a horse. So if you're looking at a horse that's this big instead of this big, that's safe for them. And we let them brush the horse, and they get all excited. And then we hand them a book that is from the perspective of the horse, and it's filled with all sorts of literacy goals. Great. Week 2, week 3, week 4, we're sending and liaising with the teacher on some additional work, literacy skills to do. And the kids know that the goal is when they finish their 4 weeks, that they're going to take a field trip to Equest, and they come and they read their story to the horse, who's sticking his head out of the stall door. It's the most adorable thing, honestly, I have ever seen. And the principal at first was like, yeah, I don't know about this. And then after it was over, she said, what's the date for next year? Because we want to be on the calendar. It's a great program. Next slide. Community outreach, as I said, those little mini horses are fabulous. If I could have brought one to Maggiano's, I would have. They're so adorable. So if you ever have I know they've been in the parade before, so we're hoping to do that again this year. They're great little partners in what we do. Next. And competition. So let me just briefly say, we have about 6 different special needs horse competitions every year. When our kids get to compete, I say kids, some of them are 30, it's a really big deal. If you're one of 3 kids and 2 of them are normal developing children and they're going to football and soccer and ballet and cheerleading, and you're the one in the wheelchair and mom's having to drag you along, yeah. And when the coin turns and they get to come see you compete at a horse show and watch you manage that horse into these different trail patterns, it's a big deal. I've watched grown men daddies in the stands bawl because it's the first time they've seen their child get to be part of a team. They also don't care if it's a first place ribbon or a 2nd or 5th place. because really all she wants is the pink ribbon. Like, that's important. So it's a good thing. Next slide. We have, of course, we can just blow through the rest of these. Equest was the first equine therapeutic center in Texas, and it remains one of the largest. So we're in a PATH, Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship, premier accredited. We have 3 master level instructors out of 70 worldwide that work at Equest. Our CEO is one of them. So we train the teachers. We train people who come and say, hey, we want to start one of these in somewhere over in East Texas. Great, come on out. And then their eyes get real big and they realize how much work it is. And so we help them get on their feet. So that's a lot of what we do. We've got board members, we've got board positions. So let me skip to how, Rotary could interface. One is, there's some brochures on your table. Please tell people that there is this organization called Equest, and oh my gosh, it's at the Texas Horse Park, and it's an amazing thing, and they're doing great things. Great things are happening in southern Dallas, so that's one. 2 is, I imagine because many of you are business folks, please follow us on LinkedIn, right? Equest Therapeutic Horsemanship, LinkedIn. Please follow us, and we'll begin to have some conversations. We really want to expand that. And of course, we have our Facebook page as well. That would be hugely helpful. Secondly, we do have volunteers. I know I spoke with English. She's going into Junior League. Junior League provides amazing volunteers for us. So if you're not a junior leaguer, we can train you. I've had retired people come out to say, hey, I'm looking for something to do. I've known nothing about horses. We can have you trained and ready to sidewalk or be with someone in a very short period of time. Super satisfying. And then, of course, there's always fundraising. We have a $2.3 million budget I have to hit every year. So we've developed a monthly giving program for people to just, do that $10 on your credit card thing and forget about it. But for us, that means I've got some steady income coming in that's really, really helpful. We also have some fun big events. We have our gala coming up on June 4th. If you're in the finance industry, the Finance Forum is a great organization. They have a fabulous golf tournament in September, so that's in a little flyer. Play golf, and all of that goes to Equest. And so we'd love to interface with you. So let me tell you really quickly, May 15th, we have invited you all to come out. From 10 to noon, we're going to do a work project. Which is, you don't have to muck stalls, I promise you. I promise you. You don't have to. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to do that. We have like 4 garden beds that need sprucing up. We have windows to wash. We have trails to clean up. Just general spruce up, because May 15th is just 2 weeks before this big gala, so I'm looking for all the help I can get. And then what's really cool is we are having the Carry It Anywhere event. So these are extension events from Carry the Load, which happens on Memorial Day at Reverchon Park. Fabulous, we'll be there. It's a great event. If you can't make that, you can do Carry It Anywhere at Equest. So at 12:30, we start with a walk down one of our trails that's dedicated to veterans. Then we do yoga with horses. And then we're going to do a mock counseling session, so you get to see what that's like. So that part is 12:30 to 2:30. Families are welcome. You don't have to be a veteran to attend. If you know a veteran, bring a veteran. And that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for your attention. Appreciate it. I know we're out of time, so I'm going to let you go. Questions, anything like that, let me know.
Please stay. Thank you so much for the awesome program today. I'm sorry we were short on time. Please stay afterwards. I know a number of people have questions for you, and a book is being placed at your honor at McShann Elementary.
Yay!
Thank you for everything you're doing.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you so much. You can give those to whoever you want.
No, she has some fabulous gifts.
You give them out. Thank you.
So Mr. Leo Avila is going to lead us in the 4-way test. Please rise.
The four-way test is an ethical guide for Rotarians to use for their personal and professional relationships. The test has been translated into more than 100 languages, and Rotarians recite it at club meetings. Please recite with me. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. See you at the Salvation Army next week.
Thank you so much.
Hi there, sir.
I fell on my face. I don't know what happened. I was doing some stuff in church and I tripped over a wire and so I'm much better now.
Wow, so did you have to go to the doctor?
As long as the emergency goes. I think that's happened, so it's starting. You got nothing wrong.
I'll see you. See you Tuesday. Yes, you'll have to bring a check, and I'll let them know that you can come. Fabulous. Yeah, wear dress or dress in pants.